Caipirinha, 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 Piranha, Caipirinha, 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 Caipirinha. However you say it, the Caipirinha is a classic cocktail and it's super duper easy to make. And today I'm going to show you a little twist that you can do to all of your Caipirinhas, just to give it that little in the side. Stick around to find out what it is. So the origins of the Caipirinha is kind of unknown. It's one of those cocktails which has only a few ingredients and it could have really come from anywhere. Some people say that it came from the sailors who were basically drinking rum, lime and sugar, but they didn't have rum, they used cachaca. Some say it comes from in the 19th century when it was common to drink cachaca, honey, lime and garlic, which was used apparently during the Spanish flu outbreak. Now, it seems quite appropriate in the current times that we're living with the old, the thing that makes you, that rhymes with no skid, co. It is a super delicious and tasty cocktail, and I'm going to show you how to make it today. And I'm going to show you the little tips and tricks to make sure that you get it right every single time, to make sure it tastes fantastic every time. Yes. If you're new around here, my name is Tom and I make cocktails and do flair bartending tricks, and I'm here to teach you everything there is to know about making fantastic cocktails. I post a video every single Tuesday where I share my knowledge on making great drinks, whether you're at home or you're a bartender already and you want to up your bartending or your cocktail game. Look no further, I'm here to help you out. I also have a Patreon page if you want to learn more or get more involved, or you want to have one-to-one chats with me on their personal messaging system. I share more information over there where I have my breakdown chats. So after each day of filming, I have a little chit chat to the camera about different stories, ideas, techniques, or whatever it may be, which I share on there. I also teach more in-depth flair bartending tips and tricks, where I'm also sharing my 3-Minute Thursday series. So if you want to find out a little bit more about that, there is a link in the description, and I hope to see you over there. Okay, the Caipirinha. Let me know if I'm saying this correctly. Anybody out there that speaks Portuguese, please give me a yes or a no or whoever it is. The Caipirinha, let's get to it, and I'm going to show you how to make this super delicious, tasty cocktail and to give it that slight little edge so that when you are making one for somebody and they may have had it before and they're up for trying something a little bit new, you can show them this little touch. What you want to do is just any citrus really, if you're going to get the juice from the citrus, just give it a roll on a hard surface, or you can massage it slightly like this, just to give the lime a little bit of love, you know, just massaging the shoulders. No, it's just to release those juices inside the citrus. So when you come to muddle or squeeze the fruit, you're gonna get more juice from that lime. If you cut it sideways, like literally in half, like this, and then cut it in half again, just find it a bit easier. Then I cut those pieces in half, swing it around, and in half again. Bosh. One more time, just in case you missed that. In half, in half, in half. Easy peasy, limey squeezy. You need yourself a short glass. You don't need a massive glass, but this is quite a big short glass to be fair. And if you want just to help yourself out a little bit, you can squeeze those limes into the glass as you go. That just helps. When it comes to the muddling, it helps release some of those flavors a little bit more, just helps the process along. You don't have to do that. I just find it, you know, if I've got time, there's no harm in just squeezing those limes in there to get things going. And then leave one lime aside. Ta-ta. Okay, that's gonna be your garnish later on. So just put that to one side for now. Right, next up, we need some sugar. Now you can use sugar syrup for your caipirinhas, a lot of people do, but I do like to use granulated sugar because you get that texture from the sugar in the drink as well. You'll see when we get to the tasting, so stick around for that. Now I like my caipirinhas quite sweet, so I'm putting 3 bar spoons worth. I've got these tiny little professional style bar spoons, known as a G&T bar spoon. If you want to get your hands on one of those, there's a link in the description where you can buy one of those. Moving on. Next up, we need to muddle. So you just want to squash down those limes. You're releasing the oils from the skin and you're obviously releasing the juice from the lime itself. You don't have to go too crazy. That should be enough. Right, up next, we need some ice. Now, I use crushed ice. That's become the fashion over the years. But regular caipirinhas, if you go to Brazil, they're probably made with cubed ice. I worked on a bar that didn't have any crushed ice, so we made our caipirinhas with cubed ice. We literally put the cubed ice in, put the shaker over the top, gave it a couple of shakes, and into the glass it went. Tasted perfectly fine. Right, now, the most important ingredient, the cachaca. Cachaça. The cocktail with the most amount of words which are difficult to pronounce, the cachaça. Okay? Any cachaça will do, whichever is your favorite. This is what I had available to me, and it seems to work really well for my caipirinhas. There is many, many more cachaças out there, especially if you go to Brazil. You can go to cachaçarias, is that a word? Where they have hundreds of different cachaças that you can try and taste. I went to one in Rio de Janeiro once, oh my God. It was like basically walking into a whiskey tasting, but for cachaça, it was fantastic. Anyway, large measure of that, that's 2 shots or a little bit more, whatever tickles your fancy. And now we just need to give it a mix and a stir. So you don't need to go crazy. You're just obviously mixing the ingredients, you're diluting the ice a little bit as you stir it around, and then that's pretty much it. Give it a quick taste. It's so good. The sneaky part is coming, but first, a bit more ice on top. Now, good old Chambord. Now, if you want to make a flavored caipirinha, this is essentially what we're doing here. I just grab a little bit of liqueur. I like Chambord on top, and you'll see why. It gives a great color to the caipirinha once it's finished. It gives a slightly different edge to it as well. And if you like your caipirinhas a little bit sweeter, using a liqueur like Chambord will just add a little bit more sweetness to the cocktail. So you just have to drizzle a little bit on top, around the ice. Oh, it's like a slush puppy. A bit more, because why not? Yes. Oh, so good. And if you want, you can just do another quick dusting of ice, just to make it a little bit snazzier. And then remember that lime that we had? Woo! On the top. Bosh. Ladies and gentlemen, that is probably the most amazing caipirinha that you're ever going to try. I guarantee. And if it's not, right, let's give it a try. Oh, so simple, yet so good. So remember I said I like to use the granulated sugar. All the granulated sugar drops to the bottom of the drink. So when you're drinking it from the straw, you get a nice little whack of the granulated sugar. So you get the lime, you get the cachaça, you can get the hint of the Chambord raspberry taste, and then you can finish off by chewing on that sugar, which gives so many dimensions to a cocktail, which is so simple and so easy to make. It's so delicious that I have to stop myself from completely downing it in one go, because it's just so great. And I do like to serve it with a straw, because drinking the caipirinha with crushed ice from the glass, I mean, you could just end up with crushed ice all over your face. And that's also why using cubed ice is also another great option, because with cubed ice, you finish off the drink, you shake it up, a couple more cubes on top, and then you can drink it like a regular drink, like an adult, basically. So you don't have to drink from a straw, but it still tastes great like this, and you just cannot go wrong with a caipirinha. And then obviously as you're drinking it, that ice is going to melt and it's going to dilute down the cocktail, and it's going to change the flavor of the cocktail a little bit. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Do you have a twist on a caipirinha which you like to put in there? Let me know what it is, because I know many people make caipirinhas in many, many different ways. But this is the way I do it. It's delicious. Kind of looks a little bit like the cocktail I made last week, the Mai Tai. And if you want to check that out, there is a link up there. But it tastes completely different, but it's just as delicious. Anyway, before I go, I do want to say a massive thank you to yes. So these legends right here who support me over on Patreon. I did tell you about that a little bit earlier on in the video. But if you do want to find out a little bit more, I did leave a link in the description where you can go and find out a bit more about that. Or you can also drop me a message in the comments box below. But anyway, so on my left here, we've got the caipirinha, which we just made. But on my right side, what I've got here is a completely clear, modern day caipirinha. Tastes the same, minus the chambord. It tastes like a caipirinha, but it's absolutely clear. Now, if you want to learn how I did that, you can go and check it out. I'm going to be posting that on my Patreon page on how to make this completely clear caipirinha. That is it. That is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next week,